Hi friends, good morning. Myself Professor Girish Atnikar from Mechanical Department, Angadi Institute of Technology and Management, Belgavi. I welcome you all for today's session. So in today's session we will be dealing with a different kind of problem on axisymmetric element. We have already seen problem number 1, which was calculating the strain displacement matrix B. Okay, now there is a second type of problem in this module, which is determination or calculation of stiffness matrix K for an axisymmetric element, right? Specifically triangular element. Now I have noted on the same. I'll just read it for you. For the element shown in the figure below, determine the stiffness matrix K. Take Young's modulus as 200 GPa and nu is nothing but Poisson's ratio as 0.25. So this is what is given in the problem along with the diagram. Okay, if you just check out this diagram, it is a triangular element. We are having r axis and z axis because it is cylindrical coordinate system. Now he has named the nodes as 1, 2 and 3, and also he has given the coordinates. Okay, this is what will be given to you in the problem. So to start with, first let us note down the coordinates r1, r2, r3 and z1, z2, z3 from the figure. So that is what I have done from figure. R1, R2, R3. So this is R1 0, R2 50 and R3 50, right? So Z1 is 0, Z2 is 0 and Z3 is 50. So I have noted on the individual coordinates. Then Young's modulus is given as 200 GPa, right? So this is in mm. Now when I say GPa, it is gigapascals. I need to convert it into Newton per mm square, right? So I have just written the conversion for you people. By this time I expect that you should know this conversion. If you are not knowing, please go through this, right? So 200 GPa, it is 200 into 10 raised to 9 Newton per meter square. So 200 into 10 raised to 9 Newton, I have kept it as it is, meter square. So 1 meter is 1000 mm. So that I am going to square. So that square I have kept it as it is. So 200 into 10 raised to 9. So 1000 is 10 raised to 3. So 10 raised to 3 into 2 is 10 raised to 6. And mm the whole square is mm square. So if we just simplify this, 10 raised to 9 divided by 10 raised to 6 will be getting 10 raised to 3. So 200 into 10 raised to 3. So it is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. Right, so that is how you convert gigapascals into Newton per mm square, and it is very important that you should convert this. If you are taking it directly, your answers will be wrong. Right? Now, these were the prerequisites. Now we'll be starting with the solution of the problem. Right? So stiffness matrix of an axisymmetric element is given by, right? So stiffness matrix of an axisymmetric element is given by the formula. So this formula is going to remain fixed, 2 pi r into A B transpose B into D, right? So this formula will remain fixed. You need to remember this, right? Okay, now what are these individual terms in this? I'll tell you later. Now, calculate the area of triangular element. So how we are going to calculate the area of the triangular element? So you know it because we have done the same thing in the previous video. So it is 1 by 2 determinant 1 1 1 r1 r2 r3 z1 z2 and z3. So if you just equate this, it will be 1 by 2 1 1 1. I just substituted the coordinates r1 r2 r3 and z1 z2 z3. So if you substitute everything, right? So if you substitute everything, I'll be getting, and simplify, I'll be getting 1 by 2 So this one I have kept it as it is. 50 into 50 is 2500, minus 50 into 0 is 0. Okay, minus 0 into anything is 0, plus 0 into anything is 0. So A is 1 by 2 of 2500, which is 1250 mm square. Right, so this is how you are going to calculate the area of the triangular element. Next we are going to calculate the general coordinates which will be using for the B matrix. So this also is the steps which I am going to repeat because I have done it in the previous video. So R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 divided by 3. We are aware what is R1, R2, R3, so you need to take the average of those. So you will be getting R as 33.333 mm. Similarly, Z as Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 divided by 3. All the three Z coordinates are known. Put it, take the average, and the outcome will be 16.666 mm. Right, so that was the first step. Next we'll be going for the next step, that is step number 2. Okay, step number 2, it is calculation of stress strain relationship matrix. Okay, D matrix is stress strain relationship matrix. Now it is given by D is equal to E divided by 1 plus nu into 1 minus 2 into nu, and this 4 into 4 matrix. Right, so how we have got this we have studied in our module 1, right, in stress strain relations, so I need not repeat it. I will be just telling you that nu is Poisson's ratio in this, E is Young's modulus, so this is stress strain relationship matrix. Right, so that is D matrix. Remembering it is very, very simple. Right, so how we are going to remember that? These three elements will be 0 and these three elements will be 0. Now remaining diagonal elements, I am done with this part and I am done with this part, because 3 elements in the third row and 3 elements in the fourth column are 0. Now remaining, if you just check out this part, so 1 minus nu, 1 minus nu, 1 minus nu, all the diagonal elements are 1 minus nu, and the remaining elements you keep them as nu. Right, so I am just trying to tell you the logic how you are going to remember. It's not mandatory that you are going to remember it in this way only. Right, so E divided by 1 plus nu into 1 minus 2 nu, then it is a 4 into 4 matrix, so these 3 elements are 0, these 3 elements are 0. Now if I just close this up, the remaining principal diagonal elements are 1 minus nu and remaining elements are nu, and the last element which is remaining will be 1 minus 2 nu divided by 2. So that is how you are going to remember. Since in FEM we need to remember a few more things in each and every module, instead of by hearting, you just try to develop some logic using which you can remember this. Right, so I have told you one logic of that kind. Next, D is equal to E value, I have calculated it as 2 into 10 raised to 5. Nu value, which is Poisson's ratio, has given us in the problem as 0.25, so I have put it as 0.25. 1 minus 2 into 0.25. Right, so wherever there are nu values required in this matrix, you put the value as 0.25. So if you are putting all those values and if you are then going to simplify, then we'll be getting the next step, which is 320 into 10 raised to 3. So this simplification comes out to be 320 into 10 raised to 3, and here there are some simplifications which are to be made, that is 1 minus 0.25 is 0.75, and here also it is 0.75, here also it is 0.75. One more simplification is required in the last element, so 1 minus 0.5 is 0.5 divided by 2 is 0.25. Now if you observe this matrix, in this matrix each and every element is a multiple of 0.25. right, so 0.25 is common in this matrix, so I'll take that 0.25 outside. So if I multiply 320 into 0.25, I'll be getting 80 into 10 raised to 3. I kept it as it is. So if I have taken 0.25 as common, so here we'll be getting 3 because 0.25 into 3 will be 0.75. I have taken 0.25 as common, so it will be 1. I have taken 0.25 as common, so it will be 1. Remaining element will be 0. So wherever there is 0.25 you need to write it as 1, and wherever there is 0.75 you need to write it as 3. Right? Now why I am doing all these things? Just to simplify our calculations, because in later stage when I need to multiply the matrices, if I am having decimal points, then it will be very difficult for me. Right? So as far as possible I try to get integers in this matrix. Right? So I hope this part is clear how I got D matrix. Now once if we get D matrix, next I'll be going for step 3, which is calculation of strain displacement matrix. Calculation of strain displacement matrix. Right? So what is strain displacement matrix? The same thing what we have done in our previous video. Right? I have solved a problem and example on this, so you can refer that. I have taken the same matrix, I have copied it here. So it is 1 by 2a. This is the general format of the strain displacement matrix. Now if I want to calculate or evaluate this, I need to calculate each and every individual term in this. So I told you how to calculate other day. First let me calculate alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3. The way how you are going to use, once again you are not going to by height, you are going to use a cyclic analogy or a cyclic logic. If I am going to calculate alpha 1, always you take it in the order R and Z. So R and Z minus R and Z. Subscript will write it later. So RZ, RZ, alpha 1, you are having alpha 1. So I am starting with 1. The next cyclic terms are 2 and 3. So it is R2 and Z3. I repeat, here it is 1. The continuation should be 2 and 3. So it is R2 and Z3 minus. In the second term you need to swap these two subscripts. Right? So it will become R3 and Z2. Similarly, if you just check out the second one, if you are writing for alpha 2, you are here at this point. Which are the continuation terms? 3 and 1. So it is R3 and Z1. For the second term, you are going to swap or you are going to exchange the subscripts. So if R is having 3, in the second term Z should have 3. And if Z is having 1, in the second term R should have 1. Similarly, if you are writing for 3, so after 3 the continuation terms are 1 and 2. So it is R1Z2 minus R2Z1. Since you are aware of each and every coordinate, that is R1, R2, R3, Z1, Z2, Z3, you please substitute and you will be getting the value as 2500, 0 and 0. Right, so that is how you calculate alpha. Next, we also need to calculate beta and gamma. Right. So we need to calculate beta and gamma. So that is what I have done here. Calculated beta and gamma using the same logic. In the previous video I told you always the term beta is associated with Z coordinate and term gamma is associated with R coordinate. So term beta is associated with Z coordinate. I am interested in beta 1. Beta 1. Right. Immediate continuation is 2 and 3. So it is Z2 minus Z3. If you are interested in beta 2, so 2. Immediate continuation is 3 and 1. So it is Z3 minus Z1. Now you are having beta 3. So you are here. The immediate continuation is 1 and 2. So it is Z1 minus Z2. Substitute these values, you will be getting the outcome or value of B1, B2 and beta 3. Beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3. Right. Now similarly using the inverse logic you need to calculate gamma 1, gamma 2 and gamma 3. Right. I told you gamma is always associated with R coordinate. So you just write R minus R, R minus R, R minus R in each of the cases. Now how I got this 3 and 2? If beta 1 is having 2 and 3, then gamma 1 should have 3 and 2. That is what I am calling it as inverse. If here it is 3 minus 1, here it should be 1 minus 3. Here it is 1 minus 2, then here it should be 2 minus 1. Right? So that is how you need to build up the logic and remember things. Once again you substitute the value of R and you will be getting it as 0, minus 50 and 50. right? So in the second row you need such elements where you are having alpha 1 divided by r plus beta 1 plus gamma 1 z divided by r. Now I know the value of alpha 1, I know the value of beta 1, I know the value of gamma 1, I know the value of r, I know the value of z. So since all the values are known, I'll put everything and I'll just get some numerical value. So it is coming out to be 25 in the first case, in the second case also it is 25, and in the third case it is 24.999, which is 25. Right, for alpha 1 and alpha 2, if you just calculate it accurately, the value will be 25.0007. Since you are getting 0007, which is a very small value, I have approximated it to 25. Once again, why I have done this? Just to get a whole number in the matrix, because if you are taking decimals, then once again it is very difficult for us to multiply in later stage. Right, so as far as possible you just try to get whole numbers as your answers. Right, now substituting all these values, beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma 3, and these big terms which are 3 in number into the B matrix, I'll be getting the value of B matrix. Right, so 1 by 2, I have calculated each and every element. I have shown the calculation, you just substitute. Now if you just observe this matrix, what you find is each and every element in this matrix is a multiple of 25. Right, it is a multiple of 25. So if you take 25 outside, I will be getting 25 divided by 2 into 1250, so that comes out to be 10 raised to minus 2. Since I have taken 25 outside, it is minus 2, because 25 into minus 2 is minus 50. 25 into 1 is 25, so it is minus 2, it is minus 1. So wherever there is 50, you will be getting 2, and wherever there is 25, you will be getting 1. And obviously if you are having a negative sign at 50, you will be getting minus 2. Right, so I hope this step is clear. I have done nothing, I have just taken 25 common in the entire matrix, and remaining elements I have written here as it is. So that is your B matrix. Right, so next step, that is step number 4. So step number 4 is calculation of B into D matrix. Because we need to calculate K, there will be in need of the multiplied product of B into D. So that I'll be calculating it as a separate step. So that is step number 4, B into D. Right, so that is what I have done here, B into D. So B matrix, I have just calculated it right now, so it is equation number 3. Right, D matrix, in the previous step I have calculated. So B into D, you need to multiply. D matrix is of the order 4 into 4. B matrix is of the order 4 into 6. So the outcome will be 4 into 6. Now, right, B into D matrix. So I have written down the matrices. Be careful, don't miss any of the signs. If you are missing any of a single sign, then your answers will be wrong. So be very careful while solving such problems which are a bit lengthier when compared to the previous problems what you have solved till date. Right, so 800, how you got 800? So 10 raised to minus 2 and 10 raised to 3. So you are having the outcome as 10. So 80 into 10 is 800, and remaining terms you know how to multiply. Now the problem here is we cannot multiply these matrices using your normal calculator, which is FX991MS. Right, because there we are having a constraint that I can multiply only matrices of the order 3 into 3, that is the maximum limit which he has given. But the order of the matrix here is 4 into 4, that is the reason I am not using the calculators. Right, in some advanced versions of calculators these options are available. Right, in the next video I'll let you know in which all calculators you are going to have such options and how you are going to solve them. Right, so you can track my upcoming videos for how to calculate these matrices using advanced version of your calculators. Right, for time being I am going to use the normal manual approach, so you can do it. So it is 3 into 2 is minus 6, 1 into 1 is 1, so minus 6 plus 1 is 5, and other two elements are 0, so that is how I got minus 5. Right, so if you do it for this entire matrices, so the outcome will be this matrix. So this is B into D matrix, 800 into this one, which is of the order 4 into 6, right? So now the next step will be calculation of B transpose, right? Because we know for calculating stiffness matrix I require B transpose into B into D. So I have calculated B into D. Now next I need to know what is B transpose, right? So from equation number 2, from equation number 3, right? So this is equation number 3, that is B matrix. If I take transpose of this, 10 raised to minus 2 remains as it is. So whatever are the rows, those becomes columns, and whatever are the columns, they become the row. So here you are having 4 into 6. If you take the transpose, you will be getting 6 into 4. Right, so that is what I have done. Okay, so this should be equation number 3. So B transpose, right? So you are getting 6 into 4 matrix. I told you how I got that. You are just taking the transpose of B matrix. It was 4 into 6 matrix. Here you will be getting 6 into 4 matrix. Now I come to the final step. We know that from equation number 1, K can be calculated as 2 pi r into A B transpose into B into D. Right, so this is from equation number 1. So I have calculated B transpose as well as I have calculated the product B matrix into D matrix. Right, so I just need to substitute it in this formula in order to get K. Right, so that is what I have done in the next steps. So K is equal to 2 pi into R, value of R, the general coordinate R, what you have calculated, R1 plus R2 plus R3 divided by 3. Right, so that is 33.333 into A is area of the triangle 1250 into B transpose. So B transpose is the same matrix what I have got here, 10 raised to minus 2 into this matrix. Right, so I have taken 10 raised to minus 2 into the matrix. Next, multiplied by B into D. B into D I have calculated. Right, so B into D I have calculated here. So this is B into D matrix, that is matrix 4 or equation 4. So that I'll take it down directly in this step. Right, so this is B into D matrix, this is B transpose, and this is 2 pi r into A. Now 800 into 10 raised to minus 2 and multiplied by this value, you will be getting it as 2.094 into 10 raised to 6. Right, and if you multiply these two, you will be getting a matrix of the order 6 into 6. Right, you will be getting a matrix of the order 6 into 6. So in such kind of problems we should be careful, because there are too many matrix multiplications, and if we are using 991 ms, which most of the students use, then it is difficult to multiply these matrices, because there is a constraint that in FX 991 ms we can only multiply matrices of the order 3 into 3. If it is greater than that, then it is not possible. So be careful while multiplying, check the signs, and then once if you are confident that yes you are done right, then you go for the next step. Because after completion of everything, if you are checking and if you find out a mistake, then it becomes very difficult to rectify that. So whenever you multiply a matrix, first check it, then you go for the next step. Right, so that's it. So that is the end of the video. This is the stiffness matrix for axisymmetric triangular element. Right, thank you. Do subscribe my channel, share it with your friends. For any kind of doubts, you can just put your doubts in the comment section. I'll be replying for that. Thank you. Have a good day.